Alright guys, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. I've got a bit of a new segment for you today. We're going to start the first episode of Shutter Chatter. Now this is basically a segment where I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit of information about photography and videography and try and teach you, I guess, a little bit about some tips and tricks and things that you can kind of employ to help you when you're buying and selling gear, when you're shooting, when you're looking for new work. So yeah, it's an exciting new, I guess, concept that I'm trying out. So hopefully this stuff will be interesting and helpful for you guys. So yeah, let's jump straight in and let's get on to the first topic that I want to discuss with you guys, because it's something that came up at my work today. Alright, so the first thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys was secondhand gear. Now, the lens that I'm shooting this review on is a piece of secondhand gear. I actually saved myself $300 by buying this secondhand as opposed to buying it retail. Now, that's simply because I'm a student. I don't have as much money to throw at camera gear, and I'm sure there are people who are in a similar position. Those of you who might, just be hobbyists, or maybe, whatever. You've got all your own reasons, but I just wanted to give you some ideas, or I guess some insight into what you should look out for and what you should be doing to make sure that you're getting a good piece of equipment at a good price. So the first thing that I want to stress to you guys is do your research. Know the product that you're trying to buy or sell, and know what it should be buying or selling for. The easiest way to do this is to go online to a couple of different types of buy and sell websites, things like eBay, Amazon, Gumtree, Craigslist, whatever it happens to be. Just jump online, do a little bit of research, and you'll quickly be able to figure out approximately what this item will be going for secondhand. The second thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you actually get to check out the gear and hold it and use it and figure out what it's like before you buy it. Don't buy anything without checking out the actual quality of the gear first, because with photography gear, it's very delicate. It's things that you won't really realize until you've taken a series of photos and you go through and check them back and you see, oh, okay, there's a bit of a scratch here. There's, for some reason there might be a little bit of the coating's been taken off of the front of the lens, and you get this weird light filter. Or like the case at my work today, somebody was hoping to trade a lens that was absolutely infested with fungus. And we're going to be taking a look at that product in a second. It's this monstrous Tamron 150 to 600, which is about $1,000 worth of gear, which is basically, I don't want to say useless, because it's not. You can still use it, but if you put this with the rest of your gear, the rest of your gear is going to get stuck with it, and it's pretty painful to shoot with, because you've got to go through and correct the absolute intense infestation of fungus that you get from that. So we'll be taking a look at that in a second. So another perk to buying online is that you're going to be able to not only choose who you're selling to, but at the price you want to sell to. So if you were to say go into something like a Cash Converters or a pawn shop or something like that and try and sell it to them, they have to then take that product, give you a price that's going to allow them, and then give you a price that's going to allow them to still profit from that product. So generally, you've got a price point between about 15 and 20% of the sale, and that's what they need to make as income for it to be, a useful sale for them. So you're potentially losing 15 to 20% of the amount of money that you could be getting back for that lens. Now, or whatever it happens to be. But I want to stress that isn't necessarily the end of the world. Some places do offer trades, which can kind of cut out the middleman. If you need something quickly, you can just go in, drop it off, and put it towards the cost of another product. But if you're the kind of person who has the time and wants to take a little bit of time out of their day to set up a sale that's going to be beneficial for them, or beneficial for yourself, then you should definitely have a look into doing things like eBay, Craigslist, Amazon, all of those sites, because you actually get the opportunity to pick your prices. You can, you get a little bit more control over exactly how much you're buying and selling for. Now, another good thing to look out for is social media. There are a lot of pages online that you can go to I guess, take a look at people who are hoping to buy and sell and want to do it in, I guess, a safe way, rather than dealing with random strangers that they can't actually have a conversation with and can't meet up with and can't do things that way. So there are a lot of a lot of social media sites and a lot of websites that you can go to that you can actually have conversations with people about gear, and you can not only just trade stuff, but you can, create connections and meet people who are like-minded, and people who are constantly trying to upgrade their gear and can give you advice and pointers and all sorts of things like that. So finding little social media groups and like Photographers Buy Swap Sale, if anybody's on that piece, been there for like, I don't know, a good couple of years now, but little sites like that are great to get into because you're going to meet cool people and you're also going to see gear that's moving at affordable prices. So definitely go and check stuff like that out. Alright guys, so what I reckon we should do is we should take a quick look at this lens. I'm going to show you what this infestation looks like so that you can identify things like this for yourself. I'm also going to show you a couple of extra things that you should look out for and ask for when you're buying secondhand and when you're looking for a new secondhand product. Straight away, things to look out for is there a UV filter on the top of the lens? This one was taken off in the shop because it also had fungus on it, so it was useless. So that's been removed and taken out. But if you're buying a lens, make sure there's a UV filter on there, or that there has been a UV filter on there, because it's going to protect from things like dust and scratches and things like that to the front of the lens. Which, if you watch my reviews, I talk about it all the time, about how not putting a UV filter on the front of your lens is the worst mistake you can make, after my own mistakes in New Zealand. But that's a story for another time. Now I've got a macro lens with me. I'm gonna try and get some photos of the fungus on the top of this lens for you. So let's take a look at that. Alright guys, so here we have a shot from the Canon 100mm macro lens. I mean, 10 points to whoever can spot the fungus in this shot. It's absolutely everywhere. It's impossible to miss, and if you were to go and shoot something with this, you'd get disgusting blotchy patches all the way through your photo. Now, it may look like this is just on the outside lens element, but it's actually all the way through the lens. Every sheet of glass is infected with mold, and the fact that that this damage wasn't spotted astonishes me, but you know what? Things like this do slip through. So another perspective of that is this right here. So they can start out as just these tiny little specks, and you can see from the depth of field that this is truly going all the way through the lens, that the further away from the surface you get, the more mold there is. But it's this kind of, I don't know, it's almost like a root system that's going across the surface of the lens, and that's the easiest way to spot it. Now, there is little bits of dust and things like that also on the front of the lens, but they can easily be wiped away with a microfiber cloth or anything like that. But the main thing I wanted to point out is that this is easily avoidable. All you've got to do is make sure that you don't keep your lenses in damp, dark conditions, because that's where this mold grows. Basically, what you want to be doing is putting one of those salt sachet deals inside of your kit bag to make sure that it's absorbing any moisture that might be getting in there. I've got 2 in my bag because, being, a bit run and gun as I am, sometimes you can get caught in a little bit of moisture, but making sure that you've got something in your bag that'll absorb that moisture is the main thing. Now, while we're here, I did just want to point out that there was a really cool reflection from my the lamp that I was using to illuminate the front of this lens, and it kind of gave this groovy reverse bokeh deal where the light was kind of bouncing through the lens, and you got this cool little, I don't know, a cool little shot. So I thought I'd show you that as well while I was here. Alright, so now that you've made sure that the inside of the barrel looks good, there's no chips, there's no fungus, all the coatings look alright, you've taken a couple of shots through it, what you're gonna want to make sure you do is test the automatic and manual focus. You're gonna want to make sure that all of the switches, the locks, the mechanisms on the side of the lens work. If it's got a foot like this, you're gonna want to unlock it. Make sure it all works, really, really give it a run for its money, because you don't want to walk out of the shop without knowing exactly what the product is that you're buying. Now, a lens like this, it was very obvious, the infestation, but it can be very, very small. So make sure that you're thorough when you're checking secondhand gear, because little mistakes like that, having little little bits of fungus, little bits of whatever it is inside of a lens can either fall into your camera, or it can, affect the rest of the lenses that you have, or, so make sure that you're really thorough so that you don't damage any other products that you might have already purchased, and are putting this new product into the same location, because you can kind of contaminate the things that you already have. Alright guys, well that's it for Shutter Chatter. I hope I helped you out a bit for those of you who are looking at secondhand products. Hopefully this was helpful. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to leave a comment or send a message, because I'm happy to help you out further. And yeah, I guess that's it for episode 1, guys. I'll catch you later. Bye.